Hi, welcome back to the Jac and Glen channel. I'm Jackie.
And I'm her husband, Glenn.
He's my husband, Glenn.
Hey, before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you miss any of our reviews. Tonight, we're talking about Ready to Love. Ready to Love. Didn't come on last week, had a hiatus. Left us with a cliffhanger, dealing with Dakia and Eric. But we get the final, somewhat what happened. A little bit about what happens at the beginning of this episode. The ladies, we see where we left off at with the ladies in the ladies' lounge, and Dakia is telling Tommy, look, that she doesn't feel comfortable with Eric. She doesn't want to be with Eric anymore, and that he's no longer any one of her interests. And then she goes into the story, and I'll let you go there because I'm kind of confused.
I mean, I am too. It was really kind of vague. She said they went out, went to take a picture, kind of like a prom pose, and she didn't like where his hands were when they did the pose, and she didn't feel comfortable, and yeah.
Yeah, she didn't feel comfortable with where his hands went. So you try to figure out where did his hands go. Was it too much? We won't know yet because they didn't really go into detail. No one has gone into detail how far Eric went with Dakia, but we do know. I'm gonna skip there when he met with Tommy because Eric ended up meeting with Tommy later on. He felt kind of bad with the way that it went. He felt embarrassed. He felt like he let himself down. He let Dakia down. They had they conversed about the situation over the phone, I guess, after the incident. And Eric came to the realization that he's not ready to love.
But let me say this first. His explanation of what happened wasn't much better than hers.
No, it was not.
He said, too, they went to take the picture. He had his hands around her waist, at her waist, and then his hands went elsewhere.
And it seemed like it went up on her. I'm assuming, this is me, my
speculation.
speculation.
He, demonstrated.
Yeah, up around her chest area, her breasts. And she felt uncomfortable.
He said he wanted to try and make a little sexy pose out of it.
Yeah. I guess he tried to do the Janet Jackson. Remember the Janet Jackson pose from back in the day? And she wasn't ready for it. And nor did she feel it. Maybe she was a little bit embarrassed because it was in front of people. Because they saw other people that was there. But either way, it was inappropriate touching. I'm going to put it that way. Because she didn't want it. So it was unwarranted touching. What allowed... and Eric felt bad. And he said, look, I messed up. I need to do some self-reflection on myself. And I know I'm not ready for love. And so he self-eliminated himself. If we can say it that way. He eliminated himself from the competition. Or from the show.
So, you would think they wouldn't eliminate anybody else. Because he self-eliminated. Oh, but no.
Oh, but no. Oh, but no. Tommy throws him a curveball. He throws him a twist. He said, look, today, you're going to introduce your exes to your next. I was going to say nexus, but that didn't make sense. For your ex, you're going to introduce your ex to your next. And people were a little bit worried about that. You saw the faces of the ladies like, hold on for a minute.
I think Ace was more than anything like, oh, I gotta get an ex.
Carmen was a little well too.
Well, but I think Ace's more was like, well, let me find one.
That I want to share, right? That I want to be willing to go on camera.
Or that I'm cool with like that I would even take their opinion. So that's the curveball. Again, we've seen this in other other seasons. Is like introduce your ex, see if anybody gets uncomfortable, how they take it, and make note of that. And so first we see Joy. Joy, to meet her ex, she has Clifton and Laverne. And her ex was Sean.
Yep. Yeah. Joy and Sean shows up first. So Sean is already hip to what's going on. Laverne has no clue. He was like, yo, I'm coming in here. Me and Joy get to spend a little bit of time on this date, one-on-one. He pops up and Sean's there. And he's like, oh, okay. What's going on here? So he was surprised. But then he go Laverne fashion, start talking about himself.
Well, and the one thing he said coming into it, when he was like, oh, okay, this your ex. He wasn't like, I ain't trying to meet him. He actually was pleasant to him and was like, okay, so I see how it's going down. But like you said, he did. He was like, yeah, I ain't got no worries. I don't know who else showing up. It don't matter because I'm what time it is. You know,
I'm not intimidated. I don't care if it's Barack Obama or Jay-Z. I'm the
dopest dude in the room.
I'm the dopest dude in the room.
I'm the dopest dude in the room. Can't nobody fool with me. Okay. And so
Clifton shows up.
Clifton
totally different
shows
story.
up when he comes in. He was like, what the heck? Because he sees Laverne, and then he was like, then there's some other dude, Sean. Oh, this her ex. I ain't in the mood to meet with no exes. Yeah, no. For what? And he said, from my past, he said this in his vignette. Then he said it at the table, too. I know from my past, you know, exes can try to slip back in. I'm not really for it. Let me see where they stand.
I agree with Laverne. I agree with Clifton. Yo, I'm not having it. I don't like the ex situation anyway. They're ex for a reason. And you don't know if the ex coming in with an alternative motive or not. You know what I'm saying? You don't know if the ex is coming in to be like, hey, you know what, try to slip in. You don't know if the ex still have feelings for that person or not. So at this case, I mean, I'm not feeling it. Joy's an attractive lady, you know, and maybe they ended on...
I feel like it's nothing to be intimidated with. Like you said, and Clifton said too, the ex is an ex for a reason. So that means...
I'm not saying intimidated. Ex is an ex for a reason, but sometimes exes still want to slide back in.
Maybe, but not necessarily. Why am I trying to slide back in with somebody that cut me off, or I cut them off? Like, for what?
Because something in that relationship was good. But he asked that question. He like, Clifton asked the question, like, so how often do you guys kind of talk, or hook up, or meet with each other? And then
they talk frequent enough. Sean was like, you could calm that. That sound kind of insecure.
And some jealousy.
You know, and jealous. You know, there's no romantic connection between us. I assure you it ain't none of that. And Clifton was like, okay, because see, from my past experience with exes, a shoulder to cry on can turn into a to lay on.
To lay on. You fill in the word. Private parts.
And Sean was like, no, it's good, but calm that insecurity. It's not good to bring baggage from the past into a new relationship. But Clifton was like, I'm not bringing no baggage. I did the work. I've been to therapy. You know, I ain't got no worries. It still, it still looks like if you're saying in my past this has happened, it sounds like you're bringing baggage.
He just letting them know, look, dog, I have no worries. I'm here. I'm caught off guard.
He didn't say I don't have no worries.
But he's caught off guard, though. I mean, I know why they do this on a show, but it catches somebody off guard. But he's caught off guard, but he's still his confident self. Mm-hmm. And Sean ended up liking Clifton out of the two. He does. He liked Clifton more than he liked Laverne.
But he said, I feel like, because let me go back to this. So, Laverne is talking that yak, as always. You know, he's like, so, who you gonna pick, me or him? At the table. And Sean was like, we gotta figure it out. It's up to her. I'm gonna tell her how I feel or whatever. He was like, man, I got some cash app I can send you. You know, just go ahead and pick. You know. Crazy. Like, in Laverne fashion. So, what Sean told Joy is, although it pains me to say it, that's what I'm saying. He liked Clifton, but
if he had to pick between the two,
apprehensively.
Yeah, but he was like, Laverne is more superficial. Everything's on the surface, and nothing was really serious. Clifton, he likes the fact that he's working on himself. He's not scared to admit that he's going through therapy.
But he said he still has issues that he has to work through.
Right, he has issues to work through, and then he also mentioned that Clifton is high risk.
Well, he said, Clifton is a better fit for her, but he comes with risk. And so Joy says, I don't really see it as a risk. I see Clifton as the type of person that's going to stand on the edge with me, and we both jump. So we both going to take a risk.
She wants some Queen, and what's that movie we watched? With Queen and,
Slim?
Yeah, Queen and Slim.
Oh, yeah.
She wants some Queen and Slim. She's a ride or die. And, let's be honest. Joy is Clifton, and Clifton is Joy, and there's nobody else in the middle. Everything else right now is for show. She really like Laverne. She just brought two just because. Laverne don't really like her. He said that a couple weeks ago. He really had Ace, and that's all. And that's what he said. He's on this date just because.
Next, we see Carmen. Carmen brings her ex, which I was like,
oh, dude.
They walked in hand, like, the heck?
Yeah, buddy. And he was looking at them tatas.
He was like, you look good. You looking good and sexy and everything. And
she was like,
now,
how about
that's
these?
the kind of ex you have to be leery of. Because he sound like he's still carrying a flame, a torch. You got to be leery of him. To me, he was the only ex tonight that I was like,
hey, he was still trying to be like, what's up, girl? And she brought Donovan and Paul. She wanted to bring Eric, but she was kind of hurt because Eric had self-eliminated. Mm-hmm. And so she had to go to her substitution.
Mm-hmm. And so when Paul comes in, he's like, oh, whoa, okay. All right. See what time it is. All right. I'm just going to take it in stride. Donovan, too, you know, he's surprised to see Paul and the other guy, but he was like, hey, I'm going to roll with it. You know, and so Marcus asks, so, like, what are your intentions? And Donna was like, I just want to be with her, allow her to grow and be there to help her. You know, Paul says, for me, my intentions is she gonna spend a little time as my girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Then she gonna spend a little time as my fiance. Then she'll spend a little time. Then she'll spend the rest of the time as my wife. Rest of our life as my wife. Like, okay. And this is Marcus. Oh, you had to say something.
No, I'm going to say, well, I think you go in there. Marcus asked a major question.
Well, he said there's one caveat.
That's right.
She's always around a lot of celebrities and athletes, you know, good-looking, tall guys, you know, females. Can you handle that? And both of them said there wouldn't be no problem with me. Paul says, you know, I know how to operate in them circles. It's no threat. Donovan was like, it's no threat for me too. And in the end, Marcus says, I like both of them. Mm-hmm. But I feel like Paul's personality is a little bit soft. For your arena, for, you know, where you operate in, it's a little soft.
Yeah, because she seemed like she can run over Paul.
Well, but no, soft, like, I don't think he can handle all the...
Oh, yeah, all the celebrities, all the athletes, all the guys calling in the middle of the night to be guys, you know, hanging out with or partying with XYZ player. Because she's in the area, so it's... You figure, if you're in the Washington, D.C. metro area, there's a lot of athletes. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got a professional soccer team, professional hockey team, professional football, professional basketball. So she has a plethora of athletes. I got it right. Plethora of athletes to mess with or to work with.
Ultimately, Marcus said he would pick Donovan for her. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So next we see Ace. Ace takes some guys out on a date.
Yes.
To meet her friend Devon. I mean, her ex Devon. And so when they come in, I'm looking at him like, this dude looks young.
Young whippersnapper.
I said, how old is Ace again? I was like, he looked like he about 25. He looks young.
She a cougar.
You know? And so she has Devon meet Laverne as well as Tory.
Yep.
And so Laverne comes in prepared. He's already been on one. He says, I see this is the week of the exes. I know how I'm going to handle it. You know, it ain't no threat to me. It is what it is.
That's what it is.
And like I said, he finds out, Tory's coming too. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so the question to Devon was like, how jealous are you on a scale of, I think he said 1 to 10 or 1 to 5. And Laverne was like 0.
Yeah.
I'm the dopest dude in the room. Can't nobody mess with me. I'm going to hold my own. It's whatever.
It's what it is.
And he was like, I could never be jealous. And so Devon says, well, how you going to handle it when the other guy comes in the room? And Laverne was like, what? He's just a spectator. He going to be watching us. I ain't worried about him.
Laverne talks mad trash. He talks a lot of trash, man, all day long. All day, every day. He's always yapping.
And that's the one thing Tory said, you know, when I come in here, you know, I'm coming to check out Ace and smack talk with Laverne. because he know Laverne gonna do the smack talking.
They go back and forth.
And so Devon says, how you feel about Ace to Tory, and Tory's like, Ace is real. We have different kind of conversations. She puts me in the center of peace, and she looks darn good. She looks good. And Devon was like, true that. For Laverne, he asked, about himself. He was like, well, I got 2 girls. Do you want more kids? He says, if she wants more kids, I can do that because, she gets my blood flowing. I have a good time practicing regardless. We're going to have a good time.
He said, we like to practice.
Yeah, he was like, it's to the point where I'm feeling her, so I got to watch my pants when I'm around her. I was like, some of that, I was like, Laverne is so extra. It's too much.
Uncalled for. But again, she
inappropriate.
But Ace was smiling, laughing, and giggling, so she likes that. It ain't the first time he said it. So again, she's digging his conversation.
Devon made the point to say, when I met Ace, she's an alpha. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at Vern. You seem like you're an alpha. Tory, are you an alpha? And he says, look, I don't like to feel like relationships are about dominating the other person. It's about complimenting each other. So if she's going to be an alpha, I don't have to be an alpha. We don't want to be in competition or whatever. Ace was like, everything Devon asked, she was like, yes. Ask them questions.
Go ahead, best friend.
He asking stuff that I didn't even think of. Go ahead, best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the end, Ace was like, who do you think is for me? And so Devon said, if you're looking for somebody to lead the way, that's going to be Tory. If you're looking for someone who's going to take the lead, that's Laverne.
Mm-hmm. It depends on what she wants.
Do you want a leader?
Or you want somebody to just take it?
Do you want somebody to go ahead of you? Or do you want somebody to, let's go to this together?
Hey, it depends on what, again, it depends on the person, because some people want people to walk, a man that walks side by side. Some want women, want a man who take lead and take charge and everything.
I think you can have both.
You can have both. I'm not saying, and a guy can be both.
Right.
Right? You can be the guy in certain situations where you want to take the lead, because I think as a man, you have to know when to take the lead, and then you also have to know when to fall back a little bit as well.
But he basically said Tory's not the take charge type of guy.
Yeah, you can't go so far in front that you and your spouse or who you with is not even the same ballpark anymore, and she's not even following you. And you want to be able to have a lead where you guys are at least together on the same page, reading the same book, in the same arena, in the same game, on the same team.
Okay, I think we get it.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Too much.
I wanted to make sure.
Too much.
Wanted to make sure.
Too much.
They got it. I appreciate it.
Okay, next we see Sabrina. And we know Sabrina has 3 different connections. She's got Demetrius, she's got Tory, and she's got Donovan.
Do she really have 3? Because I feel like Tory was there just to be a consolation prize. That she really wasn't feeling Tory anymore anyway, but he just to put him in there. I
think she still is. Just maybe not as much as the other 2. But the unique thing is she's got the 3 of them, but they don't all show up at the same place. No, meet for Milton. So I think I think they should have had each their own, as opposed to Demetrius had his own, and Tory and Donovan were there together.
And you saw with Tory, when he saw Donovan show up.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that.
Man, he checked out.
One thing they said that I said when I saw Sabrina's ex Milton, I was like, well, shoot, he looked like Demetrius.
Yeah.
And when they came in, Milton said he looked at him, was like, well, shoot, he looked like me. We're going to be good.
Yeah, Demetrius.
I was like, oh,
Demetrius
wow.
said the same thing, like, oh.
He was like, yeah. I was like, okay. I was like, yeah,
type.
Tall, dark skin. Demetrius got more facial hair than Milton, but still, they kind of carried themselves alike. I was like, okay, I see it.
Where she at.
I see it. So Demetrius actually said he felt uneasy meeting the ex. You know, it's like, there's not a thing. Like, there's not a thing I like to do. Like, I don't really want to meet the ex, but I don't like it. I'm going to roll with it.
I'll roll with it. You go with the punches.
And so with Milton and Demetrius, Milton said he felt like Demetrius was a pretty good guy. He asked, okay, so Demetrius asked, well, I think the question was, what if I disagree? Let me go back. Let me start with this. Because the thing is, Milton gave him some insight on Sabrina.
Right.
Okay. So she's the type of person that wants to be included when it comes to making decisions. You know what I'm saying? She always has something to say about it. She's about inclusion.
Yeah.
And Sabrina was like, well, that's an asset. And they were both like, I mean, yeah, okay.
At certain times, though. But.
So the question Demetrius asked was, well, what if she disagrees with a decision and I still go with it? And Milton was like, it's not going to work out for your good, bro. Like, it's going to be a problem.
But that's a problem with her, though. Because sometimes, he's not always going to agree with what she has or her decision. And then also, there's some decisions that you're not always going to be included in. Or you break down the rules. What decision do you want me to include you in? Because no guy wants to feel like he has to check in everything with the person he's dealing with.
She said they basically was like everything. And Demetrius like, I mean...
Nobody's doing that.
If that's how she operates, I'm not used to that. So I don't know how that's going to work.
Not going to work.
But Demetrius says that this conversation, okay, I'm good with it. Milton's giving me more insight into who Sabrina is what he got from it. Now, when it came to Tory and Donovan, they met at a different spot altogether, whole different day, because Sabrina remarks that, oh, both of y'all wore the jean jackets. Ain't nobody clue me in.
Yeah.
You wore the jean jackets. Coming into it, Tory was like, Sabrina got 3 connections. I ain't got time to be connecting with 3 people. Like, I'm not really feeling it.
He got too many.
He was like, she got too many. I can't.
Again, so going into it, he was already checked out. As I mentioned earlier, he was already checked out. He's already like, look, it's too many. I'm just here. I'm here just to get some food.
But the one thing he did say is, he was like, I'm the type of person that if I feel a certain type of way, like, you'll never know what I had it behind my smile. So supposedly that's what he was doing, but it was very obvious that he was quite awkward.
She felt that he was checked out, and she thought it was immature and childish.
Yeah, and he said, your ex from yesterday doesn't equal today. Mm-hmm. Okay, and as he's sitting there with Milton, he was just really kind of soaking it up. Sabrina was like, he didn't really have any questions from Milton. I feel like Tory missed the opportunity to get some info about me. Not coming from me, but from somebody else.
But he knew he wasn't getting back in the game. I mean, he knew he had lost her heart. He knew since the Truth or Dare game, he knew that she's feeling Demetrius.
I don't think that's what it was.
And he hasn't recovered from that though. He did. He felt like, I'm not even in this. I'm not even in the competition. And then to throw Donovan in their mix, because remember when the Truth or Dare happened, Donovan wasn't there yet. So then Donovan came in. So the new fish is there, or not new fish, the new guy is there. And so you added, you're already feeling Demetrius. You add Donovan into the mix, who I'm on this blind date with. I already know where I'm at. I'm third. Mm-hmm. I'm third. I mean, he ain't got to be a rocket scientist, so he's feeling like, why am I even here? I'm third. What can make me go from third back to first when the guy who's number 1 not even here?
Mm-hmm. The one thing I thought it was interesting that happened at the table. So Sabrina looks at Milton, was like, you want some water? And he was like, no. Tori says, oh, I like that she has sweet moments. Mm-hmm. And she says, oh, I'm always sweet to you. And he was like, oh, she is? Yeah. So she says. And she was like, what? Okay. So, like I said, so Donovan shows up at the same spot as Tori. Yeah. And he says, I was looking forward to getting the opportunity to get to know her. I hate the fact there's other people there, but hey, I'm going to take it in stride. He actually brought her flowers. Yeah. He greeted her real nice. She looked like, she was all aglow when she saw him anyway. And she said he walked in there all tall and good looking, exuding confidence. And, I like that. And so Donovan has questions for Milton. It's like, what kind of guy does she need? And Milton was like, she needs somebody to make her feel complete. You know, she's involved in a lot of social justice stuff that has risk involved. And, you know, it involves fighting for our people. And so it's at the point where, like, don't try to talk her out of it. You're not going to talk her out of it. That's where she rolls. Yeah. And, you know, he was like, that'd be futile. And so Donovan was like, okay, I understand. You know, that's cool. And just in the way he presented himself, Sabrina was like, he comes across real comfortable, confident, strong. You know, he's not threatened by the situation.
Not at all.
He came like prepared, and you know, she was like, he's a charmer. You know, it is what it is.
He knew what he was getting into. This wasn't his first one.
Yeah. Donovan says, he was like, yeah, I definitely think something's there. I was like, oof, in front of Tory. Okay. But Milton said, all right, if you had to ask right now, would it work? If you had to ask her, like, it's me and you, babe, would it work? And Tory was like, well, honestly, and Milton said, nah, lie. I was like, his sarcasm, and either Tory missed it or he just ignored it. I was like,
he ignored it.
I love it.
I don't think he missed it. He ignored it.
I love it. So Tory said, right now, I would probably not. I would say it wouldn't work because, you know, we have to know each other. We have to show interest, build friendship and that foundation, and then see where it goes from there. And Donovan was like, boom. If I had to pick today, would I choose? And he was like, yep.
Again.
He said, you know what? And that's the first time I said that out loud. I would choose her today. I sure would. You know, because Milton's like, see,
that's one who has again, it shows one who has confidence and one who lacks the confidence because who was really not feeling her. Again, he was there for the meal because he couldn't even say that. He didn't really converse with her, interact with Milton, interact with Donovan. He was just there. He's butthurt still from the fact of the Truth or Dare game.
But I think I'm sure he is butthurt. But I think most of it was like, I don't want to be here with two other people, and I'm pissed she got other connections.
Well, you have other connections. He tried to force Kiss Precious.
But do we have other connections?
Look,
that's the question.
Yeah.
But Donovan said, so I feel like, so that's the first time I actually said that out loud. You know, she's my strongest connection. Sabrina's like, we have a lot in common. Mm-hmm. You know, we look good together. It feels good. And so Tory and Donovan leave, and she has a chat with Milton. And it's like, okay, so what do you think? And Milton's like, well, you know, Tory's doesn't really fit your personality all the way. He don't really fit your personality. And so she was like, okay, so compare Donovan and Tory to Demetrius. And so Milton is like, you know, I feel like Demetrius is who you could build with. And, but if you want somebody to take you to the, which we could.
Next level. I'm going to say next level. He said mountain extent. Something he said. I'm going to just say to the mountaintop, right? If you want to take you to the next level, to the highest peak.
Then he said that would be Donovan.
That would be Donovan.
And I think he would make you the most happy, you know. And he said, I'm going to tell you, the way I feel about Donovan, it's not even close. Yeah. It's a blowout by a mile. And the one thing I want to say is, so when Donovan left after Tory.
Yeah.
And when he left, like, when he went to say bye and almost like picked her up off the floor, and she was grinning all over herself.
She melted in his arms.
Yeah, and Milton was like, I saw that. Yeah, I saw it.
She was excited. She likes Donovan.
Yeah, and I'm not mad at her. Go ahead. To me, he looks like the Black Batista. Before his nose got broke.
leave Dave alone.
He looks like Black Batista. So, yeah. But yeah, she was like over the moon. You could tell the difference in the greeting with Tory and the greeting with Donovan. And even, I'm going to say, she didn't give the same to Demetrius, but like if we had to rate it, so Donovan was 10 as far as her visible excitement. No, I'm talking about her visible excitement.
Yeah.
Donovan was like a 10. I'm going to say Demetrius was like an 8.
7.5.
Okay. And so Tory was like a 4.
3. 3. And he gets the 3 because he's breathing and walking.
You know what? Next, we see Christina. She has her ex BJ come to meet her dates, Paul and Demetrius. And so Paul like kind of walks in and he notices, okay, her ex is young. Not as young as Devon.
No, but younger.
Looked for Ace, but you know,
way younger than Paul.
That was it. Closer to Tina's age, but definitely not Paul's age. So that's what he was like. He looks young. And when Demetrius comes in, Paul is like thrown off. Like, what is Demetrius doing here? And so what Tina shared is, I wasn't really feeling him at first, but after we had that conversation, we've been talking a little bit more and, making a connection. And, she said she's been enjoying his company, talking to him or whatever.
She want to see where it goes.
Right. And so the question was, like, Paul, what are you looking for? He was like, I'm looking for a queen, that I can shower with my love, okay. And so,
Demetrius, mentioned that he was married before, right? He mentioned that he's getting counseling and that he is ready to love. He is way ready to love. So Demetrius said, look, I'm ready to love. I'm not playing games. I've been there before and I want to get married. And I want to have this relationship. But then BJ asked a question. No. One of those, like, BJ shared what Katina's like when she's angry. Christina. What did I say?
Katina.
Oh, sorry. That's Married at First Sight. I got the shows mixed up.
Well, yeah, I think Demetrius was like, what is it? Yeah. Can you share with us, like, any red flags? BJ was like, I'm just gonna tell it.
I'm just gonna tell it.
It is some anger issue there. And she was like, hold on, explain it the whole way. Because he was like, she took my phone, she threw it.
She punched a hole in the wall. Now, the whole story is, he was hiding in somebody else's shower and got...
he was hiding somebody.
Hiding somebody and got caught.
Uh-huh. So she was like, if you're going to tell the story, tell the whole thing. Like, tell the whole thing, okay? Yeah. Don't do that.
They also talk about Tina cuts people off. When she cuts them off, she cuts them off. Like he said, I can go months, weeks, and days, months, and weeks without even hearing from her. And she ghosts people. And Demetrius like, nah, we can't do that. That's not what grown folks do. That's not what people in relationships do. If you're gonna leave, then you're gonna leave. But if we're gonna argue, let's deal with it. But don't ghost me. But BJ thinks Paul fits a little bit better. With Tina than Demetrius. Maybe because of the age. Maybe because the answers were great, but BJ's feeling Paul.
Right. So the last ex date that we see Clifton, because Dakia ain't got nobody else. She wasn't feeling Eric no more because of their incident, plus Eric self-eliminated. So Dakia asked Clifton to meet her ex. And again, Clifton's already been on one. Again, he still ain't feeling it.
Nah, he ain't feeling it.
I don't necessarily want to meet no exes. Not for it, but I'll do it. And so her ex Terrence is there. Okay, so this was the thing we had. It looked like it was a hard cut, but it also still didn't look pleasant when Clifton came in to meet Terrence. You could see Terrence kind of go to shake his hand, but you don't actually see a handshake. Me, myself, I feel like Clifton didn't shake his hand. I know he's a gentleman, and I'm assuming I like to think he did, but he just did not look friendly when he came in. I think he shook
his hand, maybe not like he would embrace, because at the end, when they leave, they dap each other up, and they do the man hug. So I'm thinking, either the conversation they had was that good that Clifton changed his mind?
That's what I think.
Or Clifton did shake his hand, and editing made it look like he didn't, because legitimately, I edit. It was a hard cut to show another angle. So it's like he lifted hand. Even if it was the same cut, his hand would have still been extended. But when they cut it, his hand was still down. So you can say, I'm just going to say that.
But Terrence was like, okay. However it went down, Terrence could feel the heat.
And the kid was like, yikes.
Right.
Whatever she said.
She was like, yikes. Okay, so we really doing this. But Terrence says, okay, I've heard some good things about you, Clifton. And Clifton was like, okay, that's good. What you hear? They talked about the fact that Clifton has been married not once but twice before. He's been married not once but twice before. And he's not opposed to being married again. He wants to get married, but he doesn't want to be divorced again.
He said it's for life. He said, well, next time I get married, it's gonna be for life, and where is for what he said, rich or poor, for sickness or health, and basically till death do us part.
Yeah, he was like, only way this is gonna break up is somebody die. He
somebody
said,
die.
I know that's a little bit more, but he was like, it is what it is.
It is what it is. So if I get to this point again and get
married, we're gonna be till death do us part.
Till death do us part.
So yeah.
I mean, decent conversation. I mean, they started, like I said, they dapped each other up at the end. One thing was that Clifton doing the whole thing, he was rubbing on Dakia's leg, and
he was like, he still came in there with the same mindset that he had before when he met Joy's ex. Like, I ain't for me, no ex. The ex might still try to be the next. Mm-hmm. Again, might try to worm his way in. So he was like, I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna make dude uncomfortable, as much as uncomfortable as I can. Mm-hmm. And Dakia later was like, Clifton was quite touchy-feely, and it was awkward. She didn't really care for it too much, but okay. So we see Tommy meet with the women. Yeah. And, he shares with them, but obviously Carmen already knew. He shares with the ladies that Eric self-eliminated because of the issue that he had with Dakia. And so, it's like, who you feeling, who you not feeling. And so...
And so Sabrina says, look, the Kia said, I'm not feeling Laverne. All right, Tina says she's not feeling Laverne and Tory. Carmen says she's not feeling Tory. Joy named Demetrius and Tory. So I'm sitting here thinking, okay, it's Tory and Laverne. Mm-hmm. That's going to be on this chopping block. Mm-hmm. So we see Sabrina goes out to meet with Laverne, mm-hmm. and then the kid goes out to meet with Tory. Mm-hmm. So now we have, before we even get to Sabrina and Laverne is already feeling some type of way.
He said he came in, he's going in hot.
Guns are blazing.
Because I heard something in the wind.
That there was some women that's plotting against me that want to get me out. He said he named Sabrina, he named Joy, and he named Carmen.
Because they know about my connection with Ace, and they trying to disrupt it. So he came in hot.
Yeah, he didn't even give her a hug.
She was like, oh, you're not going to greet me?
Nah.
And he was like, nah. She was like, that's not how we roll, Laverne. Like, why? What's going on? And he just went for the kill.
See, this is what I don't understand. Please, if you have your person, which is Ace, right? And I thought, let's go back to the last season, too. All right? If this is your person who you have, which is Ace, you care for her, she cares for you, right? Y'all, and there's no other connection. We see them go out on Joy. We all know that was superficial, right? Mm-hmm. Why get mad when they eliminate you, right? Why get mad when they tell you that you're not ready to love anymore, right? Because you already have your girl, mm-hmm. right? We seen it with my man Naeem. When Zadia left, what happened? Naeem left as well, right? Mm-hmm. So if Ace is your girl, and you and Ace have this strong connection, which you declared, right? If you leave, guess what's gonna happen?
She gonna be next unless she self-eliminates with you.
She self-eliminate with you. So what you mad for? What you mad for? All right. So we find out. Look, the kid talks to Tory. She goes in the whole spiel about the women been talking, we've been meeting, but at the end of the day, Tory, we think that you're ready to love, mm-hmm. right? So we already know. And so I really wanted him to tell Laverne that he was ready to love and send Tory home so he can look like a butt. Yeah. But it didn't happen that way.
I know. I was like, what if they're not eliminating you? Because he did. He was like, let me foil your plot. Your friend Precious told it. Said y'all had a whole scheme to eliminate me. And Sabrina's like, bro, it's not that serious. Why would we have a scheme to eliminate you? Like,
I don't even know you like that. Basically, I ain't even trying to get with you. I'm not even trying to get with you. We cool. And Precious is Precious not even there. And she dry snitching.
Well, she obviously said this before she left. She probably is. Now, they're not supposed to, if you're not on the show, you're not supposed to interact with the people who are still on the show, because the producer actually says that to Laverne. It's like, okay, so you self-eliminating, or you just eliminate. He didn't give Sabrina a chance to say that you're not ready to love. He was like, I know you come here to tell me I ain't ready to love. That's some bull crap. You know, y'all. And you know, Sabrina's like, basically, she why you ain't gonna let me say it? She cussed at him. Yeah, and was like, why you acting like that? You disrespecting me. But anyway, the producer was like, but you have this good connection with Ace. And so you know that by you doing this yourself, on top of the fact that they was going to tell you you're not ready to love. Because, matter of fact, they might not was going to tell him because Eric already self-eliminated. Mm-hmm. And I don't think the guys know that. Right. So they actually might have been going to tell him, hey, it's not an elimination because somebody self-eliminated. True. We want you to work on yourself. And that might be why the producer was like, you just ruined your chance. You know you can't interact with the people that you connected with once you go off the show. And he was like, it is what it is.
Yeah. And how, unless somebody in that deliberation is snitching because Precious wasn't there, so somebody's conversing with her on the outside. Tell her what's going on for him to learn this information. Because he wouldn't have known. He would have known otherwise because she wasn't in elimination. Somebody in there, maybe it was Ace who told Precious, who told Laverne. I don't know. Can y'all figure it out? Let us know. Drop the comment in the comment section. Somehow, he learned before he even got to this part, he was getting ready to go home. But he should have known. Maybe. But he should have known from the last one, if he's doing a math or he even halfway watched the show, my only connection is Ace. I'm outnumbered. I don't have any other connections. It's not Joy. So who's going to keep me around? I'm not dating anybody
Technically, he does have Joy because Joy had him come see
Yeah, but he knows it's not Joy.
No, he doesn't. If you brought somebody to meet your ex, that's supposed to be somebody you have a connection with.
But in his heart he knows it's not Joy.
No, he knows. He knows in the end, Clifton and Joy's connection is stronger, and him and Ace's connection is stronger. But they do have a connection.
Yes.
But they're not the strongest. But yeah, Laverne showed his natural tail, and he was like talking to producer like, you know, why you getting on me? I didn't cuss at her. She cussed at me. Yeah. And they was like, well, still.
Like you a dude. You a dude acting like a little girl. You a dude, man. Take the eliminate. It's part of the competition. You signed up for it.
It's always one.
If it's not for you, it's not for you. Find out. He talking about he gonna be chilling with him and his dog.
Oh, that's what he said. I've been trying this dating thing for 44 years.
Yeah.
It didn't work. I thought I would come on a show and try to find somebody. That didn't work now. So he was like, basically, I'm throwing all my cards in. I'm giving up on dating. It's just going to be me and my dog, and we're going to ride off into the sunset. Laverne.
But he's the one that said he had 2 girls, right?
Daughters.
2 daughters. If a guy talked to his daughters like the way he talked to Sabrina, it would not be cool. He disrespected that lady. And he should be ashamed of himself. As a man who has daughters, he should be ashamed of himself. Oh, that's what he told the
producer, too. When it was, he was like, I'm not apologizing to her. If anything, she should apologize to me. She cussed at me.
Yeah.
She cursed at me.
He came in with guns a-blazing. Grown man, dog. Come on. Tighten up, man. Be a grown dog. And I say that, man. If we ever be a grown man.
But side note, but for real, that just dawned on me. They might really were not going to eliminate him.
They might not.
Because they are. And I said that to you. I was like, I find it interesting that they're going to eliminate somebody else when he already self-eliminated. And usually when somebody cuts themselves out of the picture, they don't eliminate anybody. So, Laverne, you did yourself a disservice.
Might have did yourself a disservice. But we'll never know until later on. We'll see. So, leave a comment section in the comment below. Leave a comment in the comment section below.
Yeah, that way.
Yeah, that way. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notification. Let us know what you thought about this episode of Ready to Love.
And we'll see you the next time around. Okay? Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.